Are we starting? Wait. Okay, we're starting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Maddie.
Hi, Nick. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm fine too.
Wow,
We're
look
back,
at us. A couple of
virtual
fine
again.
people. We are back
happy.
to virtual again. I have no song this week. I'm too tired. But
That's fair.
who knows? Maybe I'll come up with one during the pod. Surprise song, if you will.
All I can think of is Camp Rock, but we only did that like last week, so
Can't double up. That would be embarrassing.
it would be
I
embarrassing.
mean, can you imagine us embarrassing ourselves on this podcast? I would never recover from
I
that.
actually can't. I don't think we've ever, in the entire more than a year we've been doing this, embarrassed ourselves.
Exactly.
So I think
Okay.
it's appropriate.
Before we start,
Okay.
I'm going to put a 40-minute timer on my phone.
Okay.
Because then by the time we wrap up, it will be 45 minutes.
Okay.
And, I mean, who knows? Maybe it'll be even shorter than that. Who knows? But I'm pressing start. And so
Cute.
people know we like to keep the Zoom ones a bit shorter if we can.
Yeah.
And that's that on that,
and
people.
Maddie's got to rush off in an hour, so
She's got to sit on some babies.
exactly.
What's the elephant in the room this week? Is that we missed last week.
Yes. Which ended up being a good call because the
It was a good
entire
call.
east coast of Australia flooded.
This is very true.
I am only laughing because it was extremely traumatic.
It was pretty traumatic. I mean, more for you guys, but it was bad. I mean, okay, no.
It was real
so,
bad.
I haven't posted on
It was
Instagram
pretty
in
fucking
like
bad.
yeah.
Oh,
I
yeah.
haven't posted on the Instagram in like over a week because we were just gonna not do the episode and then do a post saying, you know, with the floods and with Ukraine and Russia, we weren't really up to being silly and stupid this week.
Yeah.
But then every time I thought about posting, it was like too much, you know?
I really do. Last week was an overwhelming week. I got to like, I don't know, Friday or Saturday, and something happened. Fuck, I can't even remember what it was. It was something really small and stupid, and it just pushed. I just like burst into tears at the dinner table. I was like, I'm sorry, everyone. I'm just really upset this week. It was just one of those weeks.
Yeah, I
Couldn't
feel
face
like that's
anything.
kind of the vibe in the world at the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, look.
Did you just get the same text
Yeah.
from Heron?
That's so funny. Yeah, no.
For everyone
So
who doesn't have the video version, Nick and I both just looked at our phones at the exact same time. Yeah.
It's true. Yeah. So the elephant in the room is that we haven't posted. Sorry, we missed last week.
Yeah.
I don't
Considering
think
the
we'll
state of the
probably
world, I'm
talk
sure you
much
can
about the
understand.
floods and you know Ukraine and stuff because it's all a bit depressing and you know
Oh, yeah.
we're not necessarily
That's a lot.
experts on anything or anything, so
No,
I'm just trying to keep it to pop
particularly
culture.
Yeah.
But then watch
particularly
us
not
absolutely talk about
war-related.
both for like the entire episode.
I was going to say, I definitely have some feelings to process re the floods, so that's definitely going to come out at
Yeah.
some point. You're all going to be my therapists.
I have my psychologist tomorrow and I'm like, finally. It was completely booked out like a month and a half in advance.
Oof.
Yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah, look, the floods we can actually talk about because, you know, they happened to generally us.
It's true.
But we were luckily both our families were pretty much good. We're pretty okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
No damage,
Yeah.
like major damage or anything.
No, I think Mum and Dad are still waiting to hear back about their unit in Ballina, but I think it only flooded the bottom story, I think, and they're on the top story, so I think they're okay
That's good.
down there. too.
Yeah. That shit was fucked. I don't.
That shit was fucked. We were very much spared. My studio is fine. Our house was fine. We're high up on hills in both situations, but like the bottom of my street flooded and like the whole kind of like main road into my house flooded like 3 meters deep. Olivia lost her car. Did I tell you that?
Oh, no, you didn't.
Yeah, no, her, because she's in an apartment building in the city and the whole basement of the apartment building flooded.
Oh, wow.
And they lost all their power and her car is completely destroyed. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's scary.
And then, of course, Lismore and Ballina got it real fucking bad down there. Oh, my God. I have still quite a few. Okay, for context, I lived near Lismore in my, like, very early years, and then in my teen years we lived in Ballina, so I have know both of those places really quite well, and still have a lot of friends down there. We still have a lot of family friends, and the shit that we have been hearing from them, like, as bad as it sounded on the news, it's like 10 times worse than what they're actually telling you. It was described to us as genuinely worse than, like, post-apocalyptic movies.
Yeah.
Like, it's worse than that, which is insane. Yeah. Ugh.
I mean, truly wild and scary and everything, and they definitely got the worst of it.
Yeah.
And I actually have a question for you, because I don't know if it's just not happening or if I'm not looking hard enough for the info, but, like, the government, federal and state, aren't really doing a whole lot to help, are they? Yet.
No, they're not. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of help going, but no, there's not. Lismore has been pretty much. It's pretty much gone, really.
Yeah.
It's
the entire,
like, it is indescribable, like, how much damage they took there. And the same with Ballina. And I mean, there's not pretty much any, like, post. I mean, there's a little bit of support. Like, as I said, was just saying to Nick before, like, we have the ADF here in Brisbane.
Yeah.
It's only 2 streets over from me, here helping clean up. So there's some support, but there's not, and they are technically giving monetary support, but it's like $1,000. Like,
well, I think I read today that the Prime Minister's not using any of the disaster relief fund.
oh, really?
Yeah.
Whack.
Which,
They
I mean,
definitely
hopefully
were
that's
giving
changed. But
They definitely did announce disaster payment allowances, but I don't know where that's coming from.
yeah.
And it depends. Like, so if you've lost stuff, you get $1,000, but if you've lost income, I think you can get, so you basically can get, like, the Centrelink Allowance for 13 weeks, pretty much, which I am not sure is that much anymore. I think they've put it back down to what it was now, post-COVID.
Right,
Like
yeah.
600,
they did, yeah.
700 a week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The I've forgotten what I was going to say. Oh, well.
But I know there also was not basically any help when they were actually happening.
Yeah.
When the floods were actually going on, like, it was all of the residents who were trying to evacuate people from their houses and stuff.
Yeah.
And that's, like, always. I have one of Mum's best friend, her ex-partner, is he doesn't work for the SES. He's a rescuer. He's a helicopter rescuer. You know those people they winch down from the helicopters to. He's one of those people, and he was deployed to Grantham and Toowoomba in 2011. Is when those floods happened, and they got the orders that they had to turn around and stop evacuating people because it was too dangerous, and they didn't want to lose the helicopter and obviously all of the crew members. They may or may not have defied those orders and kept rescuing people anyway. He did almost die, but last second lived. And he also won Australian of the Year after, even though that was for all of the things that they weren't supposed to be doing. But yeah, so which is just to say that 100% the government tells people not to go in to help them because they get worried about the infrastructure and the and the people's lives. Yeah,
I know that I remembered what I was going to say, and that was that after the 2011 floods, I think most insurances changed. Their policies to allow for flood.
Well, to note, so for basically anyone who was on those like floodplains that flooded in 2011, their premiums went fucking like through the roof for flood insurance. And so most of them now don't have it anymore because they couldn't afford to pay for it. So
I know that one of them, at least, the dad was telling me about, they definitely changed theirs to make it more affordable for floods.
well, that's nice.
But I don't remember which one, so that's not helpful. But
yeah. Yeah.
Um.
Anyway, so it's been a week here in Australia, and it's been the weirdest thing. I don't know about you, but like being here and being in our own like crisis.
Yeah.
Because for reference, for anyone who's listening from overseas, it flooded from Gympie down to Sydney, which is like
most of the East Coast.
more than 1,000 kilometers of East Coast that has flooded pretty badly. So it's been like crisis here in Australia, and it's been so bizarre, like going online and everyone's talking about Russia and Ukraine, which like obviously I totally get. That's like a worldwide crisis situation, but it's like so overwhelming to be here and to be having this terrible thing happening here, and then to go online and be having this also second massive terrible thing happening. It's just been a lot.
Yeah. There's like no escape.
No. We didn't have internet at my house for like it was 6 or 7 days because the node at the end of the street went underwater, so it was damaged and blah blah blah. Anyway, so all I've been able to do for like 6 days is watch the news. Oh my God, it's been so much
and rough.
So much disaster all at my face all at once. Yep.
Yeah, I keep seeing today there was in Ukraine there was meant to be a pathway out for civilians to escape. There was meant to be a ceasefire.
Yeah.
They've now attempted it twice, and both times Russia has broken the ceasefire and shelled civilians. Like, what?
It's honestly, I only have I think I've only vaguely read about this. I don't know any details whatsoever. But that's just disgusting. Like, there's like no other way. That's like 7 war crimes right there. Not even.
They're already being investigated,
including everything else. Like, oh my God. Yeah, it's just a lot over there as well. We could probably talk for 2 hours dissecting that, to be honest.
Everything's fucked.
Everything's fucked. It's been bad. Everything's bad. But
everything's bad.
I was going to say, what good things happened this week, but I don't really know. Kim K and Kanye's divorce was finalized.
It was. So I don't think that's true. I think it was she's legally single, so she's allowed to like change her name back and everything.
Isn't that the same thing?
No, because I think for a divorce to be finalized, they have to have gone through mediation and separated the assets and.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so like legally she's single, but I think the divorce will still go on for quite a while. Did you fucking see?
Kim K's single again, so that's nice.
This is nice, but did you see fucking? I don't even want to talk about it because I feel like what else is there to say about Kanye West and the entire thing? Did you see his new music video? Did you hear anything about this?
No.
It's fucking disgusting. And the fact that he's even allowed to do this and get away with it is fucking gross. But he literally made a music video in which there's like a dummy, like fake version of Pete Davidson, who he murders.
Oh no!
Like I think he decapitates and buries the dead body. And like this is, it was one thing getting away with putting people's female celebrities lookalikes naked in a music video like 8 years ago with the Made That Bitch Famous.
Yeah, yeah.
But this is like literally terrifying, no?
Yes.
That's like a public
It
threat,
is
no?
terrifying. I mean, I personally would. If I was Pete Davidson, I'd be like, what the fuck? I need to invest some money in security right now.
Yeah,
but
I'd be
thinking,
suing.
like, I think the police couldn't do anything about it, you know?
But it's just fucked up. And the fact that he's allowed to get away with it
It's so
and
fucked up.
still has people supporting him and fans, like...
Yeah. I saw this tweet today, which was really, like, it really summarizes, I think, my whole mess of feelings about it. And it was like, if Kim Kardashian, who has unlimited money and resources at her fingertips, cannot peacefully divorce her husband without being stalked and harassed, then what does that say for why, like, women don't leave domestic violence situations or whatever? I was like, wow. Yeah,
very that.
They're right.
Yeah, it's so true. A woman with all of the resources available to her, possible.
Yeah.
Still. Exactly. Yeah, it's very that. And I think, I mean, hopefully it's raising awareness for other situations of the like, but, But, yeah, no, it's just fucking scary and fucked up. And I say it every time we talk about him, but that's because I feel like it's important to say, and that is that mental health and bipolar and all that, there might be, they might explain his behavior, but they do not excuse it. You know, it's still...
No, they definitely
still
don't.
Aggressive and disgusting and gross.
Yeah, no, it's really true. Oh God, it's so... Yeah, someone can go through like a psychotic break and murder someone, but they've still at the end of the day murdered someone.
Yeah.
You know, like, I mean, that's a really extreme...
comparison, yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Like, he's still doing this.
Yeah.
The other really fucked up thing that's happened this week, and I personally don't really want to talk about it too much because I don't feel like I have enough information about the situation to have an actual opinion on it.
Oh God,
I don't know if you've seen any of this, but there has been this really big drama on TikTok for the past 3 or 4 days.
No, I don't think I know about it.
Have you been on TikTok in the last 3 or 4 days?
I have, but...
I'd be pretty surprised if you haven't seen
as like a preface, I've been on TikTok, but I've been watching videos and stuff. But half the time I've been spending on TikTok is the fucking shark TikTok I did has, for some reason, TikTok's pushing it again. And it's now made it onto like different sides of Twitter, of TikTok.
Oh, no.
And over the past week, I've had to delete more sexist and racist comments in the last week than I have in the 3 weeks prior to it.
Oh my God.
And that's because it's made it onto straight TikTok, and it's fucking disgusting, and it's so gross, dude.
Yeah, that's really true. Ugh. Well, that's unfortunate.
So that's what I've been spending half the time on
you're
TikTok
still
doing.
reading those comments. At that point, I'd just be like, I'm just muting this. I'm just not dealing with.
Well, that's what I was doing, but then when it started to get more notifications again, I was like, I better check, make sure nothing's crazy. And then I saw 1 or 2 of these comments, and so now I've been checking every day to delete because, like,
I feel like that cannot be good for your mental health. Just as an aside,
she'll be right. What's this TikTok drama? What's happening? I literally have not heard a thing.
I don't know if you've. I don't know if you've heard of these people, but one, his name is Lance, but his username is ModernWarrior.
That doesn't sound good.
No, he's oh my God, I should not have brought this up without having any of the facts. But he is Indigenous. He's an American. I think he's Native American. And so his whole thing is like deconstructing racism on TikTok. And everyone's like, oh my God, he's amazing. But then this lady, her name is Chelsea, and he had 2.1 million followers. And Chelsea, I'm not really sure what type of TikToker Chelsea is. I think she makeup maybe? I'm not sure. Or just a general. Anyway, so she came out with this video this week, and said that Lance, Modern Warrior, they've been in like a relationship for the past, I don't know, a little while. And they had sex and they had unprotected sex because she was under the impression that she was the only person that he was like having sex with.
Right.
But then he wasn't. He was having sex with other people as well. And so she did this whole video and she was like, I feel really violated because I wouldn't have consented to unprotected sex if I'd known that you'd been having sex with other people. Anyway, so it like has all spiraled out of control since then, and everyone was really quick to like call Lance a womanizer and all of this type of stuff, which was fair when that was the only information we had. But then more information has been coming out, and Chelsea's been like, I could be pregnant with your child. They had sex one time. I could be pregnant with your child and you're out here like, I don't know, lying. And he made this apology video, but it was a really bad apology video. So then he got like bullied off TikTok for a couple of days. And then this other white woman came out and was like, oh, by the way, Chelsea's white. And this other white woman came out and she's like, yes, I'm the person that Lance was having sex with at the same time. And then it's all like that was about the point where I stopped listening because I was like,
was there any STIs involved or anything? Or did she just find out?
Not that we know of.
Okay,
not that we know of.
Let's not talk about that actual situation. We can just talk about little elements within it. How about that?
Okay. Well, to be clear, the one follow-up that I know of, which is extremely fucked up, is Chelsea posted a couple of videos, like maybe a day or two later, which were apparently extremely graphically detailing how the whole situation with Lance has made her want to commit suicide. And yeah, like a whole kind of thing blaming him for that.
I think that's probably a bit out of line.
More than a little bit.
Look, I have too many questions about the details to be able to actually unpack this with in a nuanced, like educated way.
Yes. Same. Again, I shouldn't have. Yeah.
No, but we can talk about.
This has just been a thing that's been happening.
Generally, yeah. No, I literally heard nothing about this, but generally speaking,
whack.
I do think, obviously, if the question is asked, have you been sleeping with other people, or have you recently, or are you at the moment sleeping with other people? If that question is asked and they lie, that's a consent issue. That's fucked up.
Yeah.
What's your opinion on if... It's so fucking touch and go when it comes to sex and dating and stuff. And assumptions, really. I mean...
Yeah, it's really true. I think because she very heavily implied that it counts as sexual assault, basically. I don't think she outright said that, but she very much implied that. What?
Did she ask if he was sleeping with other people?
Okay, from my memory, she didn't specifically ask that, but she said to him, I want to be exclusive, and he apparently, according to her, agreed.
Okay, well then that is similar, I guess, yeah.
So, to me, no, I don't know. It feels more like a cheating situation to me than like a sexual assault situation, but I don't know, maybe I've never really thought about it in the kind of terms of sexual assault. So maybe it does kind of fall into that. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, speaking generally, I say this is why communication is important in sex, full stop. Never make assumptions or anything. Always ask. And then if the other person lies, it's not on you, you know? Yeah,
that's really true.
This also isn't me blaming her. I'm quite literally speaking generally about this topic.
Yeah.
But,
no, well, I mean, what you're saying there is that, again, from the information that I feel like I have, she did say that she only wants to be having sex with him, and he did reply and say, yes, I'm only having sex with you.
Which
and
is
then he
extremely
wasn't.
fucked up, and that is a consent issue.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
Which, yeah. However, then airing this all out publicly, I don't know that I'm ever gonna super agree with. Especially
he lost
when
like
you
300,000 followers in like 2 hours, which was pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
I mean, not that that's like the biggest issue there.
No,
but...
I know what you mean though. It I don't know. Yeah, it's a big issue.
It is. Well, it is a really big issue. Like this is a very serious problem between the two of them.
That's my
know?
thing.
Like,
and then I truly am not trying to blame her for anything. But I just don't think I'm ever going to agree with. It's similar with Kanye. I don't think I'm ever going to agree with airing out their shit publicly like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? And then bringing in mental health as I literally don't know anything about the situation, but bringing up your mental health as a guilt tactic, knowingly or unknowingly, whether you're doing it on purpose or not, I don't think is ever really okay.
No, I completely agree.
Because that's, scary and very real issue.
Yeah.
But yeah, we've literally just talked
been...
about this and said nothing, but that's fine.
Well, we don't really know enough about it to have actual opinions on the topic, but I feel like it was worth bringing up because it's been like so big on TikTok for the past 3 or 4 days. Like every fucking second video I get is people talking about this.
Yeah, no, we're on very different
discussing
TikToks.
It and yeah. Oh God. It's a wild ride. I'm at this point I pretty much just scroll past any videos about it. I'm like I've quietly made the actions that I need to make to, support what's being said.
Sure.
And I don't need to get involved past that. This is at this point, this is like out of control,
Yeah.
So.
Oof. I mean, who knows? Maybe I will actually research it and have something to say next week. Probably not, but.
If it goes on for any longer than this, I'll make sure I'll try and find like an actual someone breaking it down. Hopefully, it's gonna blow over. Well,
anyway,
you know what I mean. Like, it's not going to be such a focus on TikTok. Yeah.
Yeah, I wish her the best, and that's it.
Yeah.
And also, always ask every question you need to ask.
It's true. It's really true.
Anyway.
And boys, even the boys you thought you could trust, turns out you can't.
Say that again.
I said, even the boys you thought you could trust, it turns out you can't.
Yes.
Specifically in relation to this guy, because he's been such a... Drew, who's the feminist icon who drags straight white boys for saying bad things about women.
Mm-hmm.
He's like that, but for racists.
Gotcha.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't have that many notes. We do have to do our review of... We both watched the new movie Fresh, which came out last week.
Yes.
So we have to talk about that.
Yeah.
But we'll quickly blast through a couple things that I have written down.
I've also been seeing TikToks about that, which is wild.
I've not seen any TikToks about that. Did you see that they accidentally cut the cords to Tasmania?
Yes, I did. I did know this. I got an extensive breakdown about what happened.
Wild. All I know is that in the middle of all of the possible bad things that were happening in the last week, they also accidentally cut the cords to Tasmania, and Tasmania was completely without phone service or internet for like a few days.
I think it was ended up being like 12 to 24 hours. And then that kind of got patchy again, but still. Yeah, basically what happened, okay, I know the details. Mm-hmm. In Victoria and Tasmania, when you build, you do not need to find out what you're building on. like anything that could be underneath. So in Queensland, for example, if you want to
Gotcha.
like build a new building, you have to fucking have like
Council
an
permission.
archaeological survey to make sure
Yeah.
that there's no bones down there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not even discussing like sewerage pipes and cords and all that type of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need that in Victoria and Tasmania. And so there are three like links in between Victoria and Tasmania that supply Tasmania with internet.
Mm-hmm.
And one was cut in Victoria because someone was digging down into the ground, and they just like fully just severed the cords. I know. And then within 30 minutes, the same thing happened in Hobart.
What?
So it was like the main link broke, yeah. And then the backup link broke in the exact same way, which is so fucking funny. And
That
they
is
even
insane.
have another backup after that, which is I know, they have the third link, which for some reason, I can't remember what he said, but it had an issue and it wasn't working properly, which is why, yes, effectively Tasmania lost their internet and reception. So they had to manually go in and like pull out all of the severed cords and feed through like 2 kilometers worth of new cords to reconnect Tasmania to internet.
Wild. The coincidence of
It's
them
crazy. It's a
cutting
crazy
cords on
story.
different coasts within 30 minutes of each other is
I
insane.
know. It's insane.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
The fact that if they cut that third cord, Tasmania would have floated away.
Gone forever?
What was keeping it attached to Australia? Nothing.
Nothing.
Float down the stream. That's
Oh my
it.
god,
That's
no
gone.
wait,
Bye,
this
Tasmania.
reminds me of that TikTok this week. I spent so much time on TikTok. Of that guy, straight man who has a podcast, classic, being like,
You.
women work really hard. Sorry?
I said you're the straight man.
Accurate. No, women work really hard to be like fit. He's like, except I would argue that men work harder because they like have to resist gravity and stuff. And everyone was like, what the fuck? Do women not have
Women just
experience
float
gravity?
around. They don't. Yeah, they're not affected by gravity at all.
And your
Truly,
joke
what?
about Tasmania floating away reminded me of that.
That's men.
I'll
need
send
to
you
be,
the video. It's so fucking funny.
Shut up for good. And that includes me.
Yes. I'll
I
be the
saw.
single
Okay, well,
post
speaking
this.
of men,
Okay.
I will.
This is the AntiMan podcast today, apparently. And you know
The
what? That's
AntiMan.
really well suited because tomorrow is International Women's Day.
Is it
Yeah.
stunning? AntiMan. It's like Ant-Man, but
Iconic.
we kill the men. That might be too much. Oh. No, it reminds me. Okay,
Yeah.
so I saw the Batman Saturday,
Oh, yes. That's right.
and I loved it. It was great. It was stunning. Like the prettiest movie ever. Really, really good. A really cool mystery noir. Literally only have one complaint, and that is that they should have cut at least 20 minutes off.
Iconic.
I don't know where, but that's not my problem. But it's still like a 9 out of 10 movie. I loved it. But
How long was it?
with credits, 2 hours and 57 minutes. Without credits, 2 hours 45.
That's so... Movies... I know we talk about this all the fucking time, but movies are just too long these days.
Movies are too long. I will
too
say though,
long.
I was genuinely entertained and intrigued the whole time. Like, it kept my attention, you know? It's like a thriller mystery, very much my vibe, so I liked it.
Is it true that Robert Pattinson didn't work out? Is he
No,
flabby or
apparently
is
he just said
muscly?
that to fuck around.
Robert, you're such a liar.
It's so funny how much he lies in interviews. It's what we deserve
It's true.
as society. No, but okay, last week I didn't see a review. I saw a clip of a review, a YouTube review of the movie. I saw a clip of it going viral, well, not going viral, but going around. And it was basically this white, conservative piece of shit man
Right.
who hated the movie. He said, I liked the movie, but I hated the movie because it pushes an agenda that every black person in the movie is a good guy and only white people are the bad guys. And that's pushing an agenda.
I feel like that's actually a pretty representation of society. Pretty good representation of society.
Okay, T. I'm not gonna spoil it, the movie, but the way that this movie full on shits on that exact type of man, that exact type, like incel creep.
Iconic.
I'm not surprised that he feels victimized by the movie, is what I'm gonna say. It's so fucking funny, and I'm impressed that Matt Reeves was willing to like put his whole pussy into it. Okay.
Iconic. I am pretty excited to see.
It's
this
pretty
film.
funny. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. I can't. I just don't want to spoil anything.
Also desperately have to see Uncharted and Death on the Nile still.
We're going to maybe this weekend.
Okay.
Why do you look so pained?
I feel like we're already really busy this weekend.
Well, I say this weekend because it's kind of the first weekend without any weather. Hopefully.
Yeah. Fair.
Yeah. I don't know that I even said anything during all that, but anyway. Okay, let's talk about the movie.
I feel like your alarm's about to go off.
It is.
I was going to say.
Let's talk about Fresh.
Okay.
Okay. Maddie and I both this week
ride.
watched the new movie. It's called Fresh. It stars Daisy Edgar-Jones and Sebastian Stan. And it came out on Hulu in America and Disney Plus Star everywhere else. It's a horror thriller rom-com mishmash.
I'm not really sure I would call it a rom-com.
The first half hour is rom-com.
The first half hour is definitely rom-com, and while
So
we're
then it's
on
there.
the
So you
point
can
of the
call
first
it
half
a
an hour,
horror thriller drama
can
rom-com.
I just say the fact that the title screen didn't come up until 33 minutes in really
Was iconic.
it was a big dick move, I will say that, but it really
iconic.
made me question my existence as well.
It's okay, spoiler alert. The only reviews that I had seen was that people like it and to go in blind and to not look it up or search it or anything. I hadn't even seen a trailer. I don't think you'd seen a trailer.
Dude,
So
I hadn't
we
even
were-
heard of it until you texted and said, "Can we watch Fresh this week? It has Sebastian Stan," and I was like, "That's good enough for me."
I would also recommend going in blind. So if you haven't seen it and you might want to see it, skip to like the last 3 minutes of this podcast.
I agree.
I'm going to come out and say that I loved it.
Fair. I quite liked it too.
I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie, but I did love it.
My biggest, like, I only had one, like, major issue, but aside from that, like, I was pretty fine with it. Like, it was well made, it was funny, it was weird.
Yeah.
It was so fucking weird.
Yeah. There's, before we talk about anything about this movie, I need to talk about the fact that it's rated R18 plus here in Australia, right? Which is,
Yeah.
apart from being like XXX porn, as high a rating as you can go. R18 plus.
Yes.
Had it not had 2 seconds of this one little scene, it would be MA 15 plus. No? Because
I was going to say, I don't feel like, is that when she ate his dick?
no. The violence and
Oh.
gore is all MA 15 plus level. There's nothing on there that can't be shown on TV. Literally watch the
Yeah.
TV show Hannibal and you'll be like, oh, there's been worse than this on primetime television. No, it's the one scene at the very beginning when she's on Tinder and stuff and she gets a dick pic and it's an erect penis.
Oh.
It's the only nudity in the entire film.
Is that why they had to rate it R? That's so funny.
And in Australia, the law is if your movie has an erect penis in it, even if it's a photo of one inside a screen, inside a phone screen in the movie, it has to be rated R18 plus, full stop, no matter what. So that's why it's rated R18 plus here for literally, I want to say 1.5 seconds of erect penis on screen.
Oh, if that. That was like
it's
a jump
literally
scare
blink and you miss
done.
it.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say, because I was going to say, if you saw Sebastian Stan's erect penis before she ate it, I definitely missed that because I was looking at my phone for those 2 seconds.
Yes, so. No, you don't see his erect penis in it, no.
Okay.
Okay, now we can talk about generally the plot and stuff. I literally live tweeted the entire thing to my notes app. Do you want to go through quickly the plot as a whole, or do you want to just give general thoughts?
Honestly, the whole 2 hours
a general
feels
timeline
like a fever dream. So
it does.
You direct it.
Okay, 40 minutes is up, so we don't have long.
Okay. I have to leave in 22 minutes.
Stunning. What? Basically, as Maddie said earlier, the first half hour is a rom-com where it's like satire of modern dating. Not satire, it's just about modern dating. And the main character is Daisy Edgar-Jones, and she goes on a really bad date and she gets some really shitty messages, and then she runs into the charming Sebastian Stan with long hair, may I say, extremely hot.
So hot. He was so hot this whole movie.
Sebastian Stan in a grocery store in the fruit aisle, very much a meat cute, ironically, MEAT cute.
It was. She even makes a comment about that in the movie. She was like, "Who even meets in real life anymore?"
Yeah.
I was like, Queen, you're right.
Blah, 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 blah. I will say the date she goes on with Brett Dyer from Jane the Virgin was iconic in its real depiction of how men react when they're rejected. That was scary accurate.
So true. It was terrifying when it was unfolding. I was like, ugh.
Cringe.
Yeah.
For context, she has this really bad date where he makes her pay and then takes her leftovers for like his visiting brother or something. It's a nightmare of a date.
Yeah.
And when they're leaving, she says,
and he also says during it, like, I wish women took more care of their appearance and
that's right.
Wore dresses, which was pointed because she was wearing jeans and a jumper.
Yeah. And basically they're leaving and he's like, we should do this again. And she was like, I'm going to be honest and say no. I don't think I'm feeling this. She wasn't particularly rude or anything.
No, she wasn't. But she didn't even say anything about him. She just was like, no, I just don't think we're suited.
Yeah. And immediately he was like, well, you're just a bitch. You're just a slut bitch.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, no,
pretty much.
And that's sad.
You're going to die alone. And how do you ever expect to have a man with this terrible attitude? It's like, oh my God, bro, calm the fuck down.
Literally. My next note is that Daisy Edgar-Jones has great chemistry with both Sebastian Stan and her best friend, played by Jonica T. Gibbs.
True. She was iconic.
I think Daisy Edgar-Jones literally... Do you remember when Normal People, the TV show miniseries Normal People, went like crazy popular?
No.
It was at the beginning of COVID. And it was about, like, people were obsessed with how good the chemistry between the two leads was, and she was one of the leads. So I'm not surprised that she can have this great chemistry with anyone, you know?
Iconic.
I also Googled it, okay? Daisy Edgar-Jones and Sebastian Stan have a 15-year age gap.
Really?
Normally that would annoy me, but he looks so young that it didn't annoy me.
I was going to say, he doesn't seem... They seemed pretty similar in age.
Yeah. No, he's like 38 or something.
I think that was because he didn't have the beard.
22.
He was like clean shaven. Is she really?
Yeah.
I would have said she was older than that.
When they
not
filmed.
in a bad way. And not that much older. I would have said like late 20s.
Yeah. She looks mature for her age, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
uh,
He's just hot.
yeah, so basically the first half hour is them kind of dating and getting to know each other, and a couple of minor red flags popping up, like him not having any social media presence and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know about you, Maddie, but I would also ignore Sebastian Stan's red flags.
Well, see, I don't think they were that big of red flags, is the thing. Like, they were red flags, but they weren't. I would say they were yellow flags.
Okay, interesting. But basically, they then go on, or plan, I guess, to go on a weekend trip away. And instead, he drugs her, kidnaps her,
Yes.
and she finds out that he kidnaps women to cut off their limbs and keep them alive for fresh meat, basically to sell. He has a business in selling human flesh. At this point, I was like, wait, Wick, he's not a cannibal? That's not fun. It turns out he is a cannibal anyway, so it's fine. But I really liked the take that he was literally just selling the meat and stuff. I like that, instead of just being, a cannibal.
There was it's true. There was like a solid, 5 or 10 minutes of the movie right around when that was happening, like the reveal was happening.
Yeah.
Where I was like physically sick. I was like, this is traumatic to watch. I do not vibe with this. I don't want to see this woman be drugged with a man that she thought she could trust. I don't want to see her get locked up here. I was like, I don't know what's going to happen. Is he crazy? Is he going to eat her? Is he going to rape her? What is going on?
Yeah.
And then her realization of it, what was happening was she did an amazing job, and it was extremely overwhelming. But then as the movie kind of went on, I was like, okay, all right, it's fine. She's going to live, because that's always what happens in these movies. It's going to be okay.
I know, but honestly, in that final fight chase scene, I wasn't sure that they were all going to live.
I didn't think they were all going to live, no.
But anyway, basically the plot of the movie from that point is she decides, what's her name? It's like Noah or something? Noah. Yeah, she basically decides she's going to gaslight girl boss Gatekeep and gaslight him into it's like reverse Stockholm syndrome, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
He thinks she's falling in love with him, so he lets down his guard, which then leads to her escape and stuff. But then the other half of the plot is that there's this mystery investigation going into Noah's disappearance, and for 45 minutes it's her best friend investigating where she is, and then she gets caught, and then the next 45 minutes is her friend, who's a guy, investigating. And I was obsessed with the relay baton passing of investigating these disappearances. I really liked that. I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, the most iconic part of it was when the dude got to the house and then was heard the gunshots and was like, "Ooh, this is how you get murdered," and left. I was like, that's what I do.
I know. I kept expecting them to see his headlights and run to him, but that just didn't happen. He literally just left. That was hilarious.
He wasn't seen again.
Yeah. It's so funny. The other point is that the reason he is so susceptible to being reverse Stockholm syndromed, Sebastian Stan that is, reverse Stockholm syndromed, is because his wife, who, by the way, he's not single, he's got a wife and stuff, his wife is a previous candidate. He cut off her leg to sell the leg, and that was a pretty good plot twist, I would say.
Okay, so this was my major issue with this movie, was the wife character, because I was like, there was not any explanation. So when she took the leg off, I was like, oh, okay, all right, we're getting into something really interesting here. Is she? What happened here? Does she really love him? Was this just a ploy to get out of it? Now that someone's coming looking for another girl, what is this going to trigger? And then at the end, the plot twist was that she was working with him the whole time, or was
I
she
don't
the
think it's that she
mastermind
was
behind it?
No, I don't think it was either of those. Yeah, I didn't read it as either of those. I read it as because I genuinely thought the same thing. I thought she was going to turn on him, and she was going to be the reason that they all escape.
Yeah.
But instead, she finds out that the three women who have escaped kill Sebastian Stan's character, and basically the wife finds out, and instead of being like, thank God, thank God, basically, she took the opportunity and she was like, okay, well, my husband, who I hate because he chopped off my leg and kills people, is dead. That's fun. I love that. I got the vibe that she was satisfied that he was dead. And then I got the vibe that she decided in that moment to take over the business. But I don't think she was the mastermind originally or anything. I don't think.
I don't think she was the mastermind either, but I didn't get the vibe that it was like a last minute decision. Like that she was like, I'm going to take it over. It felt to me like she had kind of been helping with him, and then when she saw he was dead, she was like, perfect, fresh meat.
Interesting.
Which was for me was reinforced because she then tried to kill the girls afterwards. I was like, if she really, I don't know. So
see, the only
this
reason
is my major issue is like we don't fucking know.
Yeah, that's fair. That is fair.
I wish I wish she'd been fleshed out more. That's funny, fleshed. But if I would have liked to have seen more into her character to figure out what the fuck was going on with her. But aside from that,
that's true. I agree. The only reason I say I don't think she was helping the whole time is because she did try really hard to get the best friend, I think Millie, the best friend, out of the house before he came home.
Oh, to leave. Yeah, that's fair. That's
fair. Like, she did genuinely try to help, but when... I don't know. Yeah, to me, I read it as, like, her kind of giving into it. When she realized he was dead, she was like, I'm free. I can do whatever I want. And then the goop gag moment is what I want is to take over.
Yeah. That would have been so much more satisfying, again, if we'd known more about her.
That's really true and fair. Yeah, no, I do agree that it was maybe a bit vague. But it did all lead to the line where she's trying to kill the women, and it's like... it's bitches like these. Or whatever. It was like, women don't support women.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
That was pretty funny.
I was also gagged and gooped that they actually committed to Daisy Edgar-Jones' main character eating people. Like, against her will, obviously. But that was pretty iconic.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they went for it with this movie. They really did. I was into that.
Yeah. Overall, what are your thoughts? What are your rating out of 10?
Yeah, no, honestly, the only big issue I had with it was the wife character and being like, I wish I'd known more about her and her backstory.
That's
not
fair.
Necessarily her backstory, but like her motivation and what she's doing right now.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
The backstory was pretty clear once she took her fucking leg off.
Yeah.
But aside from that, like, yeah, 10 out of 10, emotional roller coaster. I was vibing. Sebastian Stan was hot, and then he was a murderer, and then you're like, ugh, I think I have issues because he's still really hot.
Literally. What did he say? He said something like, are you going to be a good girl? I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Sexy.
It was iconic.
There it is.
Yeah, I'd probably rate it like an 8 out of 10. I loved it.
Yeah, I'd put it there too. Like, I'd show it to my family. I think they'd hate it, but I'd show it to my family.
Yeah. I think that I agree with you that they could have been less vague about the wife. And I think they probably, it's an hour 50, I think, long. I think they could have cut 5 or 10 minutes because I think it dragged just a teeny little bit in the middle. Just a teeny bit.
That's fair.
So that's why I'm giving it an 8 or 9 out of 10. But yeah, I loved it.
Wait. The ending, though, was so fucking iconic when she went back for her phone and they're like panting in the forest, and then the message came up of the fuckboy from the beginning on the date being like, you up? I was like, oh God.
That's so funny.
They've taken the satire too far. It's too realistic.
It's so funny. When the satire is too real, exactly.
So
also, I loved that they bookmarked it with Noah walking home alone walking to her car at night in the dark, and she sees a man that she thinks is following, and she uses the keys in her fist as like that's what she's gonna do.
Yep.
And then it turns out it's just a normal guy with a baby, whatever. But and then at the end, it's bookmarked by her actually using that exact technique to beat up the wife or him. I can't remember which. But I thought that was really cool.
I forgot about that.
And as far as bookmarking movies go, that was pretty good. So yeah. I mean, you don't even have to go to the theater to watch it, so I'd say give it a go. I really liked it.
It's true. I liked it too. It was weird. It was different. It was fresh. Funnily enough.
Go off. Okay. Maddie, let's do really quick what the fuck of the weeks.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, you go first.
My what the fuck of the week this week is going to be... My what the fuck of the week this week is gonna be that Euphoria is HBO's second biggest show of all time, behind Game of Thrones.
Whack.
I am happy for them. I'm glad for them. I'm just not sure it's as... I think it's a soap opera, okay? I think people are gagged by how much drama's in it and how ridiculous and over the top it is. But I personally don't think the writing's that great. And I also don't live for the fact that multiple actors have come forward and said that on set is toxic and that Sam Levinson basically keeps them captive for like 18 hours a day because he doesn't come to set ready. He comes to set without a storyboard or a scene list or a shot list or anything. So it's like painful for them because they're just standing there recording a 1-minute scene for like forever. And also how much nudity he wants. That the women specifically have to say, I don't think this scene needs nudity. I don't think it's necessary. I don't like that either. I think if the women can see that it's not necessary, the showrunner should be able to see that it's not necessary.
It's really true.
So
Should be able to.
I'm not saying it's undeserved. Zendaya does iconic work. Just like why? Why is that the second biggest show of all time on HBO, you know?
Yeah, no, I definitely haven't seen any of it, so I would not even be able to give my 2 cents onto why it could be.
Fair. What's your quick what the fuck of the week?
On the new set that we built, the deck, we butted all of the planks together, and in the rain, all of the wood
warped,
swelled up, and then it made a little.
Did you fix it?
Out of wood, and that was really upsetting to me. I was like, "What the fuck?"
It was.
We worked really hard on that.
I did. I saw.
Yeah,
the
it's fixed
TikTok.
now.
That's good. The set looks really, really good. I saw the TikTok earlier. It looks so good.
Oh, thank you.
At Harness Creation in Brisbane, they have a brand new set, and it looks fantastic. For photography, video,
thank you, baby.
Anything.
Yeah. It's true. I'm excited for it.
Okay, let's wrap it up.
Okay.
What do I have to say? I have to say, go listen to the newest episode of Maddie's business podcast, the Harness Creation podcast that just came out.
Oh, yes.
Go listen to that.
Yep. Cute. I have a guest.
Go visit Harness Creation in Brisbane for all of your content creation needs. If you want to follow
Truly
the pod,
all your needs. I'm about to
Truly.
branch into social media management, so
look at girl bossing away. If you want to follow the pod, you can at WTFIH podcast on Instagram and TikTok and even Twitter. But mostly, give us a like, give us 5 stars, give us a rating, subscribe to us, all that fun stuff that makes it fun and fresh and all that.
Yay.
My socials are NIC_sushi on TikTok and Twitter. Maddie, what are yours?
I don't know. We'll skip past me.
Lady Alice 101 on everything, or Harness Creation on everything. All the links are down below, as usual. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay.
Probably.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening to What the Fuck
is Happening, the
podcast.
podcast. I think we got the podcast in sync. Wow, look at us go.
I don't think we did, but...
Wow, I feel hated. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.